An Interview with HRH. The Princess of Wales is an episode of the BBC documentary series Panorama, which was broadcast on BBC One on the 20th of November 1995. The 54-minute program saw Diana, Princess of Wales, interviewed by journalist Martin Bashir about her relationship with her husband, Charles, Prince of Wales, and the reasons for their subsequent divorce. The program was watched by nearly 23 million viewers in the UK, which was 39.3% of the population. At the time, the BBC hailed it as the scoop of a generation. In 2020, the BBC's Director General Tim Davie apologised to Earl Spencer, the brother of the princess, for the interview with his sister due to allegations that Bashir had used fake bank statements to win his and Diana's trust to secure the interview. Former Justice of the Supreme Court John Dyson, Lord Dyson, conducted an independent inquiry into the issue. Dyson's inquiry found Bashir guilty of deceit and breaching BBC editorial conduct to obtain the interview. The interview was held in Diana's sitting room in Kensington Palace on the 5th of November 1995. The room later became Prince William and Harry's playden. The camera and recording equipment had been brought into the palace under the pretense of a new hi-fi system. In addition to Bashir, Panorama producer Mike Robinson and a cameraman, Tony Poole, were also present. To ensure the secrecy of the interview, the final transmission tape was kept under constant surveillance and security guards were present during its editing. In the week following the recording of the interview, the BBC's controller of editorial policy, Richard James Eyre, the head of weekly television current affairs programs Tim Gardam, and Panorama editor Steve Hewlett, watched the interview at the Grand Hotel in Eastbourne. The Board of Governors of the BBC were deliberately kept unaware of the interview by Panorama executives and the Director General of the BBC, John Burt, the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Marmaduke Hussey, was married to Lady Susan Hussey, a confidant of Queen Elizabeth II and the Queen's Woman of the Bedchamber. It was feared that the interview may have been discredited ahead of broadcast or possibly never shown if Hussey had been aware. The official royal liaison person between the BBC and the British royal family, Jim Moyer, was also kept unaware. The film director David Putnam had advised Diana against the interview and subsequently said that he would never forgive John Burt for not explaining to Diana the implications of what she was doing and for not alerting Hussey. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, brought forward the date of an operation on her hip to the week of the broadcast of the interview with the expectation that should she die, Diana's interview would receive substantially less coverage in the media. Ironically, some derogatory comments about the Queen Mother from the princess were removed from the final cut. Diana spoke of her early expectations of the marriage and how she desperately wanted it to work. In light of her own parents' divorce, the constant presence of the media and their focus on her led her to perceive herself as a good product that sits on the shelf, and people make a lot of money out of you. The effect of the initial trip to Australia and New Zealand in 1983 was that she returned as a different person. I released the sense of duty, and the demanding role I now found myself in. She was uncomfortable with being the center of attention over her husband and had found an affinity with people who'd been rejected by society. Diana said that she had felt enormous relief at her pregnancy with William, but that she subsequently suffered from postnatal depression, which led her to be labeled by others as unstable and mentally unbalanced. She thus began self-harming and became bulimic, both of which intensified following Charles's resumption of his relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. She famously noted, in reference to her husband's relationship with Parker Bowles, that, "There were three of us in this marriage." Diana felt that she had been compelled to perform her role as Princess of Wales and that her behavior had led friends of Charles to indicate that first was again unstable and sick and should be put in a home of some sort. "I was almost an embarrassment." She claimed that she never met Andrew Morton but that she allowed her friends to speak to him. His subsequent book, Diana, Her True Story, would lead to the couple agreeing to a legal separation. Dinah confirmed the accuracy of the Squidgygate tapes of a telephone conversation she had with James Gilby. However, she denied the charges of having an affair with him and harassing Oliver Haw. Dinah said that she was in a unique position as the separated wife of the Prince of Wales, and that she would fight to the end. Because I have a role to fulfill and I've got 2 children to bring up. She confirmed her extramarital affair with James Hewitt and was hurt at his